Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is week 5 of the NFL Fighting Chance Fantasy Football Betting Show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to us today. We really do appreciate it. We had a really shout out to our college football show. So me and my guy Dan we just started this week. First one, we do a college football betting show. We just dropped that one on Thursday night. So go check that out before kickoff today. Get your bets. And then we are here live again for our 5th. This is week 5 Fighting Chance Fantasy NFL Betting Show. And ladies and gentlemen, we have been on fire. It has been phenomenal what we're doing. And the feedback that we have gotten from you guys so far has just really been outstanding. I do appreciate it so much. Follow me on Twitter at Kayvon_sports. I have had so many people, so many of you great listeners, great followers, reach out to me about plays, about picks, questions about the picks that I have. And that makes me feel so good because two things. One, it tells me that you're obviously listening to the show, and I love that. And two, it tells me that you're not just listening to the show and just writing down the picks and going and betting them. No, you actually have more questions about them. You want to know a little bit more before you put your hard-earned money down, and I respect that. And that's why I say I will always answer your questions when you ask them to me on Twitter. So it might not happen right away, but I will eventually get to them before the games kick off. So anybody, reach out to me at Kayvon_sports. I have been doing it all week long, all last week, the week before. Every week we're getting more and more questions, and that's phenomenal. If you have picks that you like that I don't mention, let me know them. Love to hear them. Drop them in the comments. Reach out to me through DMs, whatever. Let me know your picks. I want to know who you guys are on. Are you following my picks? Are you fading some of my picks? Are we rolling together? How is it? I don't know, but that's it. So we've been on fire, right? We went 5-2, 2 weeks in a row. Last week we tied. Last week we went 4-4. If Austin Eckler could have got over 35 receiving yards on Monday night, we would have went 4-3. But he ended up with like 28 receiving yards. He crushed it with the rushing game. We thought he would do a little bit more in the receiving game. Didn't happen. 4-4. So that is our first quote-unquote tie week, right? I guess, you could say tie equals a loss. That's fine. That's our first losing week of the season. So we're looking to bounce back heavy this week, and I have some plays I absolutely love. This is one of my favorite weeks here when it comes to some of the games. I saw right away, I was looking at these picks on Monday, and I saw some of these picks on the board that just really stood out to me. So let's get started. Once again, at Kayvon_sports. Follow me on Twitter. This is the Fighting Chance Fantasy NFL Week 5 betting show, baby. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's start. So I want to start off here with the Detroit Lions taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are favored by 9.5, now moved up to 10 in most books, and the over-under is 49. Now, I have a couple of plays in this game, okay? So stay tuned. But my first play is the over 49 between the Vikings and Lions. I absolutely love the over in this game. I love the over in this game. This is my favorite over of the NFL season, and this is why. There's a lot to unpack here. So this play is based on a mix of art and a mix of science. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, art? Kayvon, it's sports betting. Where's the art? Well, the art of it is what I see with my eyes and what I see between these two teams and what I know about these two teams. And that's art. What you see with your eyes, what I see with my eyes, that is art, right? The science is the math that is involved in this play. And as I always say every show, betting is about math. It's about numbers. It's not, do you like the Vikings? Do you like the Lions? No, it's, do you like this number versus do you like that number? That's what it's about. Is there value? And we have a lot of value in this game on the over. The science is the math that's involved here. And the bottom line is these two teams are both due for some scoring, some serious scoring. They combined for just 21 points last week. But I actually think they will almost triple that number this week. I see a total shootout happening in this game. Let's start with Detroit. Last week, the Lions moved the ball well against the Bears defense. Whether you watched the game or not, They moved the ball very well against the Bears defense. That's really good, but they only scored 14 points. And that is because they became the first team since 2000, ladies and gentlemen, to have 4 red zone drives, 2 of which went inside the 10-yard line, and to combine for 0 points in all 4 of those drives. That's right, 4 red zone drives equals 0 points. They probably should have beaten the Bears last week if they could have just capitalized on half of those red zone drives. So you look at Detroit, they posted a 24.9 offensive yards per point, and over the last 3 games, their yards per point is 20.4. I'm not going to go too deep into the weeds here because I know that's a lot of Spanglish for a lot of people out there, but this is kind of like in basketball where a team has like 3 straight games of shooting 3 for 30 outside the arc, and you just know there's no way that can keep up, right? They have to go back to the mean. They have to go back to the normal, the average, or at least have maybe what we call a get-right game. Or in baseball, when the team's in a rut and they've gone like 4 for 40 for a couple games, they're going to get it going, right? It's just numbers. It's math. That's what happens. It's mathematical anomalies. So just because those numbers are off, they're going to eventually go back to the mean, and over time, regression is going to rear its head. Beyond that, look at the defenses that the Lions have played. They played the 49ers, the Green Bay Packers, the Baltimore Ravens, the Chicago Bears. Those are all legit top 10 defenses or near that point, right? Minnesota is not a top 10 defense. Minnesota is not a top 20 defense. And the Lions are still averaging 20 points per game against those tough defenses. They're going to score points in this game. Minnesota is in the same boat, and this is why I really like this over, because of the Minnesota side. Last week, they had 4 trips, just like Detroit, inside Cleveland's 40-yard line, and another trip called back because of a bad penalty, and those resulted in 0 points as well. All right, the Vikings had a 36.4 offensive yards per point, and they absolutely should have beaten the Browns last week, just like they should have beaten the Cardinals 2 weeks before that. This Vikings team is much better than their record. They scored 33 against Arizona. They scored 30 against Seattle. The Vikings also run the same scheme as the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers, which those 2 teams both topped 35 points against this Lions defense. Minnesota is at home. They are desperate, and they are better than their record says they are. I can honestly see Minnesota threatening to score 40 points alone in this game, which, hint, hint, brings me to my other play in just a second. All right? So, finally, the last thing, a little icing on the cake to top this playoff. 3 of the last 4 meetings between these teams have been shootouts. 72 points combined, 54 points combined, 27 points combined, and 72 points combined. So other than that 27 points, you've had 72, 54, and 72. These guys know each other well. Both defenses are not good. It is going to be points galore in Minnesota on Sunday. Give me the over 49. Now, my second play from this game, and let me be very, very clear. I do not usually do these types of plays because it's very risky. I don't condone on a regular basis doing these types of plays because if one of them misses, most likely both of them are going to miss. But this tells you how confident I am in this game right here. So my second pick for this game is I am taking the Vikings team total over 30. For everything I just said about the Vikings explanation there. I think the Vikings absolutely unleash their offense. I think they have a bunch of frustration built up. I think this team knows that they should have a much better record than they do right now. They are going to take every little ounce of anger out on this poor Detroit team. Kirk Cousins has been an absolute monster. He looks like Tom Brady when he plays the Lions in his career. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson are all going to have great games. Give me the over 30 points Vikings team total and give me the over 49 in the game. I seriously think the Vikings could score 35, 30, 38, 40 points alone in this game. I am very, very high on the Vikings, and I think Detroit's offense will add to that as well because the Vikings defense just isn't very good either. All right. moving on to the next game. San Francisco 49ers +5 at the Arizona Cardinals. Over-under is 48.5. Look, the Cardinals they're the story of the league right now. They're the only undefeated team left. Kyler Murray is the favorite to win the MVP. The Cardinals are absolutely rolling, and no one can doubt that. And if you look at the 49ers side, they're starting a rookie quarterback in Trey Lance. We really aren't sure how he's going to look. So when you put all that together, you're probably thinking, Kayvon's going to take the Cardinals here, isn't he? Not so fast, my friends, as the great Lee Corso likes to say. Give me the underdog. Give me the 49ers +5. Look, whether Jimmy G or Trey Lance is playing, I don't care. I was going to take the 49ers in this game no matter what. But the fact that Trey Lance is playing just makes me even more confident in this play. Lance threw 2 touchdown passes and no interceptions in 18 attempts last week. When he came in and replaced Jimmy G, he ran for 41 yards on 7 carries. And now think about this. Now, Kyle Shanahan had all week, whatever you want to hear about the noise, maybe Jimmy G was going to play, maybe he's not. Kyle knew Jimmy G wasn't playing. And he had all week to prepare Lance to start for this game. He had all week to scheme what he wanted to do with Lance to start this game. And when you give me a bright mind like Kyle Shanahan a full week to prepare, I am going to take Kyle Shanahan and the points here. That makes me very, very happy. Arizona has been fantastic on offense. We know that. But the Niners scheme very well for Kyler Murray. They held the Cardinals QB to less than 5 yards per pass in the second meeting last year that they faced the Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, and just barely over 5 yards per pass in the first meeting. So they have done a really good job against Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals in years past. And we know that the Cardinals have covered just 7 of their last 27 games at home as a home favorite, okay, including 0-1 against the spread this season. So once again, that's 7 of their last 27 games as a home favorite. They've only covered 7 of those 27 games, and this year they're 0-1 as a home favorite, and that one was when they barely beat the Vikings because the Vikings missed the last second field goal. I am taking the 49ers +5 here. I actually think the 49ers have a really good shot to win outright. We're not taking them on the money line. That's risky, but I'm taking the 49ers +5 here. I think Trey Lance sets the world on fire with a beautiful, beautiful rookie debut performance. All right, let's move on to a divisional battle here between the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Giants come through with a massive win in New Orleans last week, which we predicted. All of you that were on that with us, thank you very much for following along. We told you guys the Giants, we were smelling an upset. We took the Giants 7 plus 7.5. They covered. They won outright. This time, once again, the Giants are +7.5 point underdogs in Dallas. The over-under is 52. I think the Giants get up for this game once again. I think the Cowboys are due for a letdown. They've been playing out of their minds. I do think the Cowboys will win this game, but to get 7 points in a divisional game where the Giants just won outright against the Saints, and that Giants defense is not bad, and Barkley's starting to look like Saquon Barkley, I like the Giants here. I really do. Look, the Giants easily could be 3-1 right now. They shouldn't have lost to my Falcons. They shouldn't have lost to Washington if it wasn't for a terrible call by the refs that was not offsides. Against my Falcons, they had an interception in the end zone that they dropped. If they caught that, game over. The Giants are much better than the record shows. Daniel Jones has been really good this season. You cannot hate on Daniel Jones right now for what he's doing. He has been phenomenal so far this season. He's not the reason why they have the record that they have. The Cowboys have a big game against the Patriots. I know it's the Patriots. It's not the Patriots. It's the old, but still, teams get up when they play the Patriots. They've looked great so far. I think that the Cowboys are a good team, but I'm on the Giants here. We were on the Giants last week to pull the upset. They did it, and we're on the Giants once again to cover the 7.5 against division rival Dallas. Give me the Giants plus 7.5. Okay, time for our best bet. We have not lost our best bet yet this season. So for all of you guys that are new, what's our best bet? Every single week, we have one bet that we absolutely love more than the rest. I love all my plays, but this is the one that I love the most, and that is the Tennessee Titans -4 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The over-under is 48.5. I'm all over the Titans here, and how can you not be? Do I need to say more? We all know what's happening in Jacksonville right now. But if you're still a little bit skeptical, let me help you out here. The Tennessee Titans under Mike Vrabel are 100% against the spread after coming off an upset loss. That is 100% against the spread after coming off an upset loss. So they lost to the Jets last week when they were favored. They are 100% against the spread coming off a loss. That is a remarkable number. First of all, Derrick Henry is literally the mayor of Jacksonville. He is the mayor, okay? He owns Jacksonville. He owns every single part of that city. He is from there, and whenever he goes home, he puts on a show. Derrick Henry has rushed for over 1,000 yards in itself just against that Jaguars team in his young career, okay? Tennessee isn't that good of a team, and I have a lot of concerns about the Titans overall. Their offense is average, their defense is lousy, but Tennessee still grades out way ahead of Jacksonville on both sides of the ball. And then now what you add up with happening with Jacksonville, the owner called out Urban Meyer publicly. Players are anonymously saying that they don't like what he's doing, and there's a lot of issues there. This has been a disaster so far, and it's unfortunate. It really is, because the Jacksonville Jaguars have looked better every single week this season. They're getting better. Urban Meyer is actually coaching pretty well in terms of he is getting the team better. They're not going backwards, but they're not a good football team. And when you put that along with what happened this week with Urban and the players calling him out, the owners calling him out, I just don't think that the Jaguars are going to be able to get up for this game. I think there's too much going on off the field to focus on what's going on the field. And I absolutely love the Tennessee Titans to win this game by double digits. But all we have to have them win is by more than 4 points. So give me the Tennessee Titans -4 for my best bet of the week. And to wrap up the show with 2 props for you guys, give me Josh Jacobs over 13.5 carries. Peyton Barber's knocked up. He's just banged up right now. Kenyon Drake is just not getting the carries that a lot of people thought he would. They're going to try and get this run game going. They know that they can't keep forcing Derek Carr to throw 50 times a game. Josh Jacobs over 13.5 carries. And then also give me Jalen Waddle over 55 receiving yards. They're playing the Bucs. The Bucs have the worst secondary in the league right now to Kansas City. They're too banged up. This is actually going to be a high-scoring game in my opinion. So I love Jalen Waddle over 55 receiving yards. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your Week 5 bets. I am Kayvon Ezami. This is the Fighting Chance Fantasy Football NFL Betting Show. We really appreciate all of you tuning in. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Twitter at Kayvon_sports. Let's win some bets. Let's have some fun. And we'll be back next week for another round of NFL bets on Fighting Chance Fantasy. Have a good one.